Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. On tonight's Versus, we have Kunhai Whiskey, Sun Taiwanese Whiskey, coming in at a 40% ABV, versus Kunhai Whiskey, Earth Taiwanese Whiskey, coming in at a 40% ABV. Now, for full disclosure, Kunhai Whiskey sent these bottles over for us to take a look at and to review, so just keeping that transparency open. Now, Kunhai Whiskey is somewhat of a newer brand here to the United States, and they are already found in some local stores and online retailers. And these are Taiwanese whiskeys that have been blended up to fit their culture, the naming schemes, and to showcase Taiwan as a whole. Now, when it comes to Sun, this is a blend of old and new, energy and ease, the idea behind how Taiwanese culture is nowadays. And when it comes to Earth, this is a blend that is supposed to showcase the nightlife, the more culinary expertise that Taiwan has started really diving into in recent times. Now, to be honest, this is less of picking a winning bottle and more of just a good A-B comparison in case you see either bottle sitting on the shelf and you're really curious on what one brings over the other. So we're going to be talking about color, notes, taste, and wrap things up in the market price section. So let's get into it. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit, become a member if you'd like. If you're interested in individual reviews over any of the Kunhai Whiskey bottles, they'll be linked up above and down below, along with a link to their website, so you can check them out for yourself, find yourself a bottle, and at some point in the future, they'll actually have an online store for ordering, which is really nice. But the nice thing I love about this brand is that they are very cost effective in today's market, in my opinion. And they're doing really good stuff. Comparing on color themselves, I would say Earth here is just a shade darker than the Sun, but it's pretty darn close either way. All right, let's start on notes for Sun. Beautifully soft. I'm getting a lot of oakiness on here. Nice bit of spice. Get that little bit of wood sugars going on. There is a more orchard note going on in here, more like apple, like a rich, juicy apple, like red delicious. And you do get an underlying smoky peaty note. It's not super heavy-handed in that, but there is a bit of peatiness in there. Not like a scotch or anything, but just an earthy pepperiness. As you keep going back, the oakiness kind of gets a little more spice characteristics. You get a little bit of the wood sugars, a little bit of cinnamon in there, and that mixes with that apple beautifully. No ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. Honestly, just a really good nose. Especially at 40% ABV, they're bringing across a lot of complex notes in my opinion. Just nice sweet layers, but for me, the oaky and spicy layers are what really show up in Sun. All right, let's go for notes on Earth. Right away, you definitely get this has almost a bit more peat to it. It's a little earthier, it's a little darker, a little more rich. You still get a bit of the fruitiness in there, almost like a apple sweetness, but there's also, for me right now, a bit of floral going on. And this is kind of the fun thing when you do A-B comparisons. You're going to find these kind of differentiating notes, even if you keep comparing the same one to several different things. Nice bit of pepperiness in there. Let's go back over here to Sun. Yeah, that floral is really starting to show up more on the nose for me for Sun. But you're getting a deeper, richer, oakier note over here on Earth. I love that bit of peat. For me, the peatiness definitely shows up more here on Earth than it does on the Sun. But still very much a inviting nose. It's not super strong in that peatiness. You're not like a scotch at all. But it's got a nice layer of spice in there. A little bit of cedar, a little bit of sandalwood going on. And just a light bit of that fruity characteristic. Still no ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. Just a nice solid nose for that one. All right, let's go for taste on Sun. Beautiful spices right up front. Bit of sweetness from that fruit layer. Definitely for me right now, it's coming across as apple, but there was also a little bit of pear going on. That bit of cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, a little punch of allspice in there too. And then you're getting that oakiness. A little bit of cedar, sandalwood, and it's got a just more robust profile to it. And it's inviting, but it's complex too. So in my opinion, I feel like if you're interested in getting into whiskeys, especially stuff outside the United States, it's a phenomenal sip. And if you're in that world already, I think it's a good daily drinker at that point. It's just got just enough characteristics going on in here that you could sit down and kind of enjoy it and just, kind of sip on it, or you could really pick it apart and dissect things and do a full tasting with it. Second sip here, a lot more apple spices going on. I wouldn't quite say like apple pie, but definitely it teeters close to that line. That little bit of pepperiness and smokiness in there as well just kind of helps cut the sweetness, but not so much that you kind of want more sweetness going on. All right, let's go for taste on Earth. Definitely Earth to me has a deeper, richer, and more dark profile to it. It is a little smokier, a little more peatiness going on in here. That pepperiness is showing up, and that little bit of sweetness is cutting through. Here, you're dominating more in that sweet characteristic comparatively to Earth. Earth is more up you like your darker, richer, oakier notes, but you also like a little bit of peat in there too. I just love how well that peat is balanced in there. It doesn't overtake the whiskey, but gives you that pepperiness that you want, the earthy sweetness that you want in there as well. And then you just get a little bit of floral, almost like floral shop going on in there for me right now. And then it kind of opens up with a little bit of fruit sweetness, but the spices, the wood sugars, that cinnamon's in there. It's a phenomenal sip. I just love how well that's balanced. There's still no ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes, and yet again, for 40% ABV, this one for me stands out just a little bit more because of that earthiness going on in there. All right, let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. Honestly, both of these can be found at right around that mid $40 price range, sub $50. So usually between $43 and $49. To be honest, both of these bottles are phenomenal for their price point and their proof point. They have a lot of complexities going on in here, and one you could easily sit down with to kind of just relax and just sip on a whiskey, or something you could sit down and pick apart with. And in my opinion, these are great stepping stones into peated options. That little bit of peat smoke in both of these are phenomenal, and they just can balance themselves so well with their blending job. I can't knock them at all, and I think they're well worth that mid $40 price point, and easily ones that I can keep on my shelves and let people enjoy and just have a good time with them. And again, if you're interested in learning more about Kunhai Whisky and their offerings, a link to their website will be down in the description area below. Go show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Kunhai Whisky Sun Taiwanese Whiskey versus Kunhai Whisky Earth Taiwanese Whiskey. If you have any questions about either bottle, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should put up against each other, also let me know down below. I love doing these ABs. Helps me learn, helps you learn, and hopefully make a smart decision with your wallet. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
And I really like it might not.